When I attended Franciscan University of Steubenville, I had the opportunity to go on a retreat with some visiting Dominican priests. The retreat included talks, Eucharistic adoration, confession, and an introduction to the Angelic Warfare Confraternity. One of the biggest lessons I learned in the confraternity is that chastity is a virtue for everyone, not only for those struggling with lust or sexual addiction. As a married person, I think being a member now is just as important as it was when I was single. One of my favorite saints, St. Pier Giorgio Frassati, was also a member of the Angelic Warfare Confraternity. He's been remembered for his love of mountain climbing, his avid hiking, daily mass attendance, deep friendships, and praying the rosary. But he's especially known for his care for the poor. I've come to believe that his extraordinary charity was deeply connected to his chastity. The Catechism teaches chastity means the successful integration of sexuality within the person, and thus the inner unity of man in his bodily and spiritual being. In order to give ourselves fully to God and to others, we need self-mastery. Growing in chastity helps us grow in charity. Charity is the theological virtue by which we love God above all things for His own sake, and our neighbors as ourselves. Another saint who lived the virtue powerfully is the patron of the confraternity itself, St. Thomas Aquinas. Against his family's wishes, Thomas chose to join the Dominican order. His family responded by kidnapping him and imprisoning him in the family castle. In one final attempt to change his mind, they sent a woman into his room to tempt him. Thomas rejected the temptation, said to have been girded by angels with the cord of chastity, and from that moment on, he was never tempted in the same way again. That cord is still preserved today, and after his death, people began wearing cords themselves, praying for purity through his intercession. And from this devotion, the Angelic Warfare Confraternity was born. It was officially established for the whole church in 1727 and is one of the ancient confraternities of the Dominican order. Most of us won't face temptation in such a dramatic way as St. Thomas Aquinas did, but our modern world is full of temptations. That's why guarding our purity matters. Members of the confraternity commit to praying the daily prayers, wearing the blessed cord or medal. There are many spiritual benefits to joining, including the prayers of fellow members, plenary indulgences on certain feast days, and you get to have St. Thomas Aquinas as a personal patron. If this devotion sounds appealing to you, I encourage you to learn more. I'll link the Angelic Warfare Confraternity website below. Until next time, friends, let's keep growing in holiness.